So feet flat on the floor. Um, have your knees about a hip's width apart and shoulders are aligned with your hips. And you can have your hands resting in either just on the laps or in the traditional meditation mudra of the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. So I was reading a little bit about hand mudras today, and I think there's a little bit more to it than just the physical. There's a energetic connection. There is also on a deeper level. Maybe that's a bit too esoteric to talk about, but we're talking on a little bit more, a deeper level, a little bit energetic level. There's some impact because Lama Zopa Rinpoche always used to talk about channels, and I remember him saying one time when you hold your hands in this position with the thumbs touching, you've got this, you have this kind of circular energetic thing happening around the arms and the heart. And Rinpoche said it helps to activate the bodhicitta channel. I'd never heard of that before, and I never had an opportunity to ask Rinpoche to sort of explain that a little bit further. But anyway, there was that. So go to the crown of the head and just relax your scalp and the forehead and your eyes and the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, back of the tongue, the jaw, the back of the head, the back of the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just bring your awareness to the breath. Notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then be aware of any sounds in your environment. Sorry, I've got a couple of dings on my computer. I don't know if you can hear the crickets. I've been kind of enjoying them, except last night they were a little bit close to the window. But just be aware of the sounds in your environment and just allow those sounds to be there as part of your mandala, whether there's sounds inside your house, people in your house, your kitchen, having shower, going to bed, or whether, you've got pets wandering around. Just allow all those sounds to be there. And then bring your attention to your mind and just notice what's going on in your mind. Try to put some space in between the thoughts. Try not to follow the stories. It's very easy to get lost very quickly. Just take a step back and look objectively at what's there. And you can just let it go. Just as you breathe out, just exhale, just you can think release. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, all these beautiful people that we have in our life who help us and support us. Then there's ones in our life which we find a bit irritating. And then there's our strangers, remembering these relationships are interchangeable. And then all these people, including us, we're all equal because we all want to be happy. We don't want to suffer. And we all have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of this future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this wee little section on compassion, developing compassion. So it's also on reliance because we need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So we're relying on the beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime down the track. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy. This is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karo hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasafa samayam manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita dina me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum he. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And, you imagine you walk into a room, it's pitch black. And then you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negative of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and, depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness and grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time we imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the very, very subtle imprints of negative energy from our consciousness as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa zipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa zipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahompe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the fourth step in the purification process is power of resolve. So first of all, really make a strong, thank you to yourself for turning up and to everybody else who's here as well, because it just holds the energy of the practice, the more people here. So these 28 mantras that we're reciting get multiplied by 21. So that's a lot of mantras that we're sending out into the world while we're thinking of others and for ourselves. It's beautiful. So there's that. And then think of something you'd like to work on, just something little, give it a small amount of time. Don't make a big deal out of it. Maybe it's just something very, very simple, like some negative self-talk. Maybe we have a habit to sort of say to ourselves, that was so stupid. So maybe we don't talk to ourselves like that. So just something small. Just keep working on it bit by bit, And then think this determination to refrain from harming is what gives us this strength to change. So we're making resolution, a determination that we don't want to harm anymore. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with our mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So a little bit on emptiness. So we We think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. All right. So let's just recite those just 3 little verses. Chapter 3, the survey of the 6 families. And then the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, surveyed in full the family great with mantras, the family of the Vidyas and the mantras, the family that is threefold by its nature, the family of and yet beyond the world, the family great in brightening the world, the foremost family of the Mahamudra, and so the family great with great Ushnisas. And chapter 4, okay, we'll just do this chapter here. The stages of awakening according to illusion's net, and then about the Lord of Speech he spoke, these verses which include 6 kingly mantras, which manifest from non-duality, which bear the quality of non-arising. And then we can do the tomorrow. Okay, everybody. Lots of love, and let's just make a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long. So happy to see, as I keep saying, I'm so happy to see how healthy he's looking. And then the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then, of course, for your own teachers, there's so many and they're all getting older. So make a strong wish for them to have a long, happy, healthy life. Okay, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Sleep well. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.